Hey, what is going on there YouTube? This is the Gamer Guy. Today's video is a bit of a different one. I'm going to be talking over different opinions about this week's drop. Overall, if you're not happy with what I'm saying, that's perfectly fine. You can comment down below your opinions on it and I will leave your comment there. I'm not going to remove any comments if people don't have the same view because everyone has a different opinion. Everyone's valid to a different opinion. However, this video goes over how those opinions have sort of stepped over the line and not in a good way. It's not nice what I've seen. So yeah, let's get into this. Bit of a different, almost sort of controversial to some people, but yeah, different video. Let's get into this. I've got my headphones on just because I've got some music going. Okay, so like I was saying, this video is just going to be talking over some of the opinions of this week, and overall I'm quite disappointed in the side that a community sort of side that the Supreme has hated on this without looking into it or trying to understand it. I always go through and watch every single video that is either a drop list, maybe a collab leak or something like that that's coming out, because I want to see the other people's opinions and the other YouTubers' opinions. I want to hear what they think about it. I never normally read the comments because obviously comments differ for different people, but this week I decided to read the comments on most of the videos and they were quite disappointing. Now you might have a different view than me because I just have an open view when it comes to these sorts of things, but you might have a different view than me and that's perfectly fine. Everyone's got a different view, everyone's got a different opinion. However, this week is about Nan Goldin, or the main collab point for this week is Nan Goldin. Now if you don't know, she took photos before Supreme was even a company or even was formed. So she was doing her job before this, she was doing what she loves before this. I just want to literally read to you what her bio says, or you can read it yourself. It says that she's an American photographer. Her work often explores LGBT bodies, moments of intimacy, the HIV crisis and the opioid epidemic. So her work focuses, or her photography focuses around very highly sensitive topics and other topics that are high in the media. She does really good work, and it's upsetting to see some of the comments that I saw because people aren't having that sort of open mind about it. Now some of these pieces aren't my thing, you know, I wouldn't buy some of the things, but that's because I don't wear some clothing like these sorts of coaches jackets. I don't wear that sort of clothing, so that's not my sort of thing. However, I would be purchasing the skateboard decks because I collect the skateboard decks and I like to have an open collection of different pieces. I have the Gonz decks, I have a Michael Jackson deck, E.T. deck, Taxi Driver deck. I have a load of different skateboard decks. With these ones, they really interested me and I just think they look cool in general if we go to them. That's a really cool skateboard deck, and so is that one. This one isn't my sort of thing, but if you didn't actually read this, this is actually the photographer herself, Nan Goldin, and she's in a dominatrix sort of outfit. But that's her herself appearing on the piece, and she's going to appear on the shirts as well. Now, like I was saying, everyone has a different opinion. However, the thing that really disappointed me was that the fact that I read a comment, and I will go to it now and read it for you, and it is just really almost heartbreaking, the fact that someone can't understand what this means and how big of a thing this is in general. So the comment itself that I saw was on Tristan Wick's video. I like Tristan's video. He went over and gave his opinion, completely valid and open. Really liked it. He even looked into the subject of Nan Goldin while he was editing, just so that he could give a full scope of his view. However, the comment that I read on his video just killed me inside, you know. So there are a couple that get you where it's like, I don't hate it, I won't cop most likely, but I don't understand. Supreme should know their consumer by now. I know some will cop, but majority of Supreme buyers will not cop. I don't know whether people understand the concept behind what's actually being released. The severity of it is really high. It's just ridiculous how some people aren't actually understanding how big of a thing this is. This is a comment that I appreciate. I think a lot of people are forgetting that skating was historically part of the counterculture. I always view Supreme collabs like this as keeping with their roots. Good, really good. You know, he's open to it. Now this is the comment that really just pissed me off, to be honest. Weak, shake my head. Putting, not spelling it right, but you know what, trans on a shirt. Oh my god, what the fuck. Supreme. And no hate to the LGBT people at all. To each his own. Anyone should live their life how they want. But putting on a Supreme shirt, what the fuck? It baffles me to the fact that the person says that they don't want to hate and, you know, like, each to their own, but then they say, what the fuck, to putting it on a shirt. Now, maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't get it. Maybe I don't understand that the sort of new era of people buying Supreme don't like this sort of stuff, and I'm all for it, you know. I'm not a fan of the, where is it? Of this sort of Coach jacket in the burgundy colour, I believe it is, or the black colourway. I think it would look pretty cool, but it's not my sort of thing to wear because I don't wear that sort of stuff. With the hoodies, I probably wouldn't be purchasing a hoodie because I've already got like 6 hoodies. If I had the funding to buy a hoodie, I would probably buy it possibly in the heather grey colourway because that's a quite neutral colourway for it and it blends in with it well. But the thing that people are missing is that they're completely judging these pieces based on what's on it, which is, what's on it is something that is massive to people, and if you don't like it, don't buy it. It's as simple as that. But I mean, the amount of dislikes these pieces have is baffling because people are really truly hating on it because they're transgender people or they're drag queens or people who are dressing differently. And it's crazy because if people are into Supreme, who are drag queens, who are transgender, who are different than what you expect the norm is, and they see this, they might be overwhelmed and absolutely happy by it because of the fact that it's representing them and it's for them, you know. But people are still just hating on it, and I'm just baffled to the fact that people aren't seeing the full picture here. They're just saying, like, people are just saying weak. Shake my head, putting trans on a shirt. What? Like, that's not even correct to even do or say about things. Like, the fact that the person actually took the time to comment that, and they had so many spelling errors, but they still think that their opinion about it is almost correct. By, like, the individual put that they're not hating, but yet they're still hating, and they're saying Supreme shouldn't put it on a shirt. It's baffling to me, honestly. Now, Vogue Britain, or British, released an article where Nan Goldin spoke about this and how proud and happy she was that her work was being put on shirts. So this is the piece here. I'll link it down below if you want to read it, if people are bothered about reading something like this. But basically, the main thing overall is that her piece offers the look into queer spaces through the female gaze. So the overall thing of this is that it's giving a look into, they've used the word queer, so I'll use the word queer spaces through the female gaze. It's completely different to the skate culture, but it's now being put together. One of the individuals who they used, which I looked into, was Kim, who is an individual who is a transsexual performer. It's been put on a t-shirt and it's been put on the jackets and the skateboards and everything, and it's a large thing. Now, they speak about Nancy herself, who is covering a skateboard in one of them, and she's also going to be on the t-shirts, I believe, in this, yeah, there she is, in this dominatrix outfit, where she literally says in an interview, "I did this for the kids. I'm looking forward to seeing teenagers skating on my images and wearing them. To my mind, people have become so conservative, especially the millennials. It's like the 1960s never happened, so I like the idea of them being exposed to my real world." She wants people to see her world and see everything that individuals go through, but yet people are so close-minded to it. It is baffling. So again, one of them has 2 of the drag queens, Misty and Jim Paulette, in a taxi. The reason that the photo, you can see the makeup, is because she took it with a flash, like just took it with a flash, so that it exposed the makeup and what they had to go through to put the sort of whole drag queen look, I don't know how to put it, but the drag queen look together, so the amount of makeup they had to put on, and the flash exposes that. She goes on to a lot more, talking about things like people are only brave enough to dress up for Halloween, that her friends were the pioneers, they paved the way for the LGBT communities of today. She talks about a lot of what she had to go through in order to get her pieces to be recognised and in order to help the LGBT community. However, the sad thing is that it's not being seen as or looked as at that. It's being called a trash week, it's being called a horrific drop, worst drop of the season, worst drop of all time. It's being called a lot of things that it shouldn't be called, because it's a large stepping stone to help a different community out. Now I get it, I understand it, that people who don't like the thought of people who are transgender or drag queens or different things like that, I get it, they don't like that. But the fact of the matter being is that for somebody to come out as being a drag queen or transgender or gay or lesbian or anything like that is a really big thing, and it's very difficult for people to do, let alone have photographed and put out for the world to see. Now, I don't know whether me just mumbling or rambling on about this is going to make any difference or change any people's minds, but you just need to look at the other side of the coin, you know? You have to have a different view for this. The fact of the matter being is that most of these pieces you might not agree with. I'm definitely going to be going for hopefully the first and the third skateboard, just because in my view I like them. The Nancy's one is not my sort of thing, so I won't be copying that, but the first and third I will be copying. I don't really know how to end off this video except for the fact that I've just been talking about it for quite a while now, but it's just the fact that when you look at Supreme, you need to understand that on a global scale it is looked at by a lot of people, and the scope of it is very, very wide. A lot of news articles go out each week about it, and just as a thing, for Vogue to put one out talking about this is a large thing, because this is a huge thing for Vogue to write an article about Supreme. So just think about it from that side, that Vogue have written an article about this piece of Supreme that is dropping this week. And obviously, if you don't share the same opinion as others, I'm all for that. You have your opinion is your own, but it's just the fact where people need to watch how they voice their opinions, because what if you were commenting on a video, for instance, and you put a comment like the guy did, and the person who uploaded that video was transgender, and then you comment that on their video? What if then in the next video they then say, you know, they're transgender, and, you know, it hurt them by seeing a comment so rude and just hurtful and disrespectful put on a video where the person clearly watched their video and liked their video, you know? I don't know. People just need to think before they comment or before they rush their opinions, because yesterday I didn't look into this before I uploaded my video. Afterwards, and when I was streaming later on in the day on Twitch, I looked into it completely. It's amazing that these pieces are going to be able to be printed and are being printed and put on Supreme shirts, jackets, hoodies and skateboard decks. Overall, if you take anything from this video, just be open when it comes to Supreme. There have been a lot worse drops that have occurred, and people just aren't focusing on them. They're just looking at these pieces and they're just focusing and trying to be pretty negative about them, and they're just hating on them and following the sheep crowd of people who are commenting or hating on it. So yeah. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, I'm not going to say you need to like or anything, because that's your choice. If you have a different opinion, comment it down below. Obviously, as I said at the start of the video, I'm not going to remove any comments that are different to my own or opinions that are different to my own, because everyone shares a different opinion. But just be more open when you are commenting about it, and don't be so judgmental about it. And if you don't want to buy the Supreme, you know, if you don't like it, a Supreme shirt that has it on, you're not forced to fucking buy it, you know? There's no one forcing you to buy that piece. It's your own choice to buy pieces of Supreme or pieces of clothing or anything in general. You don't have to be forced to buy it. So just think about that when you do go to buy a piece of anything. You're not forced to buy it. It's your own choice to. If you don't like this, you don't have to buy it, you know? So anyway, I'll see you tomorrow when we're looking at the drop list. Peace.